All right, we're ready, and I think I'm not muted. Ooh, I'm not muted.
All right, friends, please find a table and take a seat.
We're gonna need more chairs, so feel free to grab chairs. We got stuff to share. We're gonna share some stuff. Sit down, McNally.
Can you? One, two, check. All right. Yep.
So we're on live stream now too?
Yep.
Not
We
for
can
long.
see it.
Oh. When I asked?
There's Owen. All right, friends, welcome to the 4-H Training Center. Little couple of housekeeping things for the day, specifically where the bathrooms are. If you go out this doorway, go down the hallway, and take your next right, there's a family restroom, and then men's and women's room are down the hall. Other than that, please. What was that?
And the water cooler.
And a water cooler for drinks there, and I believe there are cups somewhere with it too. This is the 4-H Training Center, so this is where our team and Has Matrix meet full time. The 4-H Training Center is awesome. They give us the space to be able to meet and let us host kickoff, so please make sure to treat this place nice. There is garbage and recycling over here, and yeah, just there's also a little bit of chaos going on outside, so when everyone's leaving today, please be careful. There's a couple of big events going on. We wanted to share some important information for the season, some of the things that we can share before noon today. We're going to start with our dates for the season. So we do have a bunch of competition dates already available. These are up on the MVCC website already, so you can find them there. Our first events for the season in December are going to be John Jay and the Finger Lakes. John Jay is December 6th. That is locked in. Finger Lakes is not locked in yet.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
So John Jay, just so you know, he also has already done a snow date. So if it snows on the 6th, he already has it for the 7th.
Awesome. We're going to hope it doesn't snow, though.
We are going to hope it doesn't snow, but just so that everybody's aware.
Finger Lakes is not locked in, but it's going to be the 14th or the 15th. So those will be our first two December competitions. 13th or 14th.
Yep, nope.
Sure. I wrote 14th, 15th, but
Yes,
good catch.
it is the 13th, 14th.
Whatever that weekend is. For those of you who are newer, I strongly recommend competing at the December competition if you can, for a couple of reasons. It gets you in the door early, so it gets you to one of the first events to kind of see what's going on. It also is almost guaranteed to kick the team into high gear to want to do some craziness. So going to that December event really can kick the team into high gear and push you through the season. So strongly recommend a December date.
And as a region, when you do the December competition, you are automatically guaranteed 2 more spots if you want them. How the region works is everybody gets at least 2. If there's room and you want a third one, you can have a third one. If you do Decembers, you're guaranteed. Because basically what was happening was people didn't want to do December because they didn't want to lose one of their 2 chances. So as long as you do December, you're guaranteed.
The other thing we've at least
If you
done
want
in the past, and I haven't verified if we're doing it again this year, but in the past we also open up those Decembers earlier. So if you do a December competition, you get first dibs as well. Dean's List. So for those of you who don't know, Dean's List is an award that coaches and mentors do for their team members who are sophomore and juniors. They've moved the due date for Dean's List this year. So Dean's List is actually due December 15th. It's a lot earlier than it used to be. Yeah, not in love with it either. But they have done that, so keep that in mind if you're thinking about doing Dean's List.
And just so that you know, Tina has already decided that the first full week in January will be Dean's List interview. She's actually got it on a calendar. So she's going to get it out of the way before we're huge into competition.
If any mentors, coaches have questions about Dean's List, definitely reach out to us later. We can talk about that. From there, we get into January. Albany event is January 17th with their FLL event the next day. Buffalo and Broad Albany Perth will both be on January 25th. And the Peak Skill event is going to be on January 31st.
Morning. Oh, you're in
Rolling into February.
Sorry. That's a weekend.
Corning will be February 1st, so that is back-to-back with the Peak Skill event. And then Clarkson will be February 7th. That's way up north, and it's guaranteed to snow. Championship does not have a locked-in date yet, but it is either going to be February 28th into March 1st, or it's going to be March 7th and 8th. It will be one of those 2 weekends, and it will be a 2-day event again.
1.5 days.
A 1.5 day.
It'll be that same thing that we did last year where it's go there Saturday afternoon and then compete all day Sunday. She's still waiting for MVC seats, so that's the only reason we don't know.
All right, so those are all the important dates that have come out so far. Wanted to talk about a couple of big changes that have come out in the rulebook too. So hopefully all of you guys have read the pre-release of the game manual. There are some really, really big things in there. And we're going to go through just kind of a couple of the highlighted biggest ones. First and foremost, the biggest change is how advancement is working this year. So in the past, advancement has been you win an award, that award places somewhere on the advancement scale, and you go from that. So it was Inspire, winning captain, winning first pick, Inspire 2, Inspire 3. They've completely thrown that out this year, and this year it's a point-based system. So you will get points with how your team ranks at the end of qualifiers. You will get points for being on a final alliance. You'll get points for winning in the finals or for where you place in the finals. You will also get points for awards. So you'll get 60 points for Inspire 1, 30 for Inspire 2, I want to say 15 or 20 for Inspire 3, and then 15 and 10 and 5 or something for awards. This is all in the game manual. Look it all up in there. But then they're ranking you based on those points, and that's how advancement works. So it's a huge change from how it has worked in the past. Definitely something you guys should look at. Take a look in. The scoring system is going to do all of that ranking automatically. So there's not going to be any human involvement, any human error kind of stuff there. But it is all going to be in the system. The other thing that it means is that you will only get one award this year. So if you hear your name, that's the award you're getting. There's not going to be any more of 2, 3 awards for a team. You're going to get one and done, and that's it. We did away with multiple awards last year? Okay. Gotcha. The other thing, what is new though, is that control award is included in that. So if you get control award, that's your award. Was it last year too? I don't judge things. I don't know how judging is working. Perfect. I appreciate it, Malia. So that's the big one. Advancement changes is going to be a big change. It's going to be one of the, I think, the biggest things you guys are going to see different at an event than what we've seen in the past. Next thing is that the Motivate Award is gone, kind of. So there's no longer an award called Motivate. They've actually struck that one, split it into 2. Now there is the Sustain Award and there is the Reach Award. Fundamentally, Sustain and Reach are the same thing Motivate was, with some more specifics and kind of just the clearer how they're laying it out. So a broad overview of it, the Sustain Award is about teams, it's about basically sustaining your team. So it's about your fundraising documentation, it's about your succession plan documentation, and it's about those kind of things. So it's really focused on sustaining your team. Reach is basically outreach. So it's all about your outreach stuff that you do, promoting first and the first values in your community. So those two awards are new. They've got some very specific verbiage in them, and teams should definitely go in there and read those carefully because they are very specific. The third award, which has always been a thing and it's always been weird with Motivate, is Connect. Connect still does exist. It is still an award that is focused on getting mentors and connecting with the STEM community and learning from the STEM community. So those are kind of the differences. Connect is connecting with the STEM community and learning from them. Reach is connecting with the community and sharing STEM. So those are kind of the two differences there. Other things, so things that stood out to me, one of the big ones is our servo limit. So historically, we've been a 12 servo limit. We are down to 10 servos this year, so they took 2 of our servos away. Still 8 motors, but only 10 servos. And on the note of servos, they are giving a bunch of new things that we can use to power servos. So in the past, we could use the Rev servo power module, and it would inject 6 volts into it, so you had a little bit more power. They've added a bunch of new things. There's a Go Build a One. Rev actually has a remote mountable servo controller, which is pretty cool. So there's a couple of different tools out there that we can use. So those are new things for the season. Lisa, you got anything? That's the end of my notes. Yeah.
What? My mic is not on? I can talk without the mic. I
Except that
usually
they
can
can't hear you on
boom
the
pretty
stream.
good.
So does anyone out there have any questions about the season? I know we have some new people, maybe a couple of new teams. So anyone have any questions on how the season works, on how the awards are going to work, on what we're doing today, on why we're here, any sort of questions?
That's
all right.
totally fine.
So for those of you guys who don't know, this is Shenenda Hulla's group right here. They're actually talking about forming an FTC team this season. So all these other teams in the room, please connect with them. So you guys have some great resources in the room with you today. You got the 2 teams from Burton Hills, Boston Lake. In the back, you have Botmen with Albany Academy. And then you have Lisa and I's team, RoboVine, sitting here. Do we have anyone from As Matrix?
Not yet. I'm
Not yet.
assuming they're
Okay.
probably going to run in
Probably
about
gonna get here
quarter
closer
of.
to 9. So our the RoboVine sister team Has Matrix will be here too in a little bit. So some great resources here, and kind of welcome to the community. Hopefully you guys do start up a team. Do you have a question back for Botman? Any way teams can lose points in what way? Nothing that I've seen at this point. So, I mean, obviously there's always the gracious professionalism thing where if you're getting dinged for gracious professionalism and someone brings it to the judge advisors, you could be removed from award contention. But other than that, it's not really an award point system. It's just whatever you get, they then are ranking you by the points and doing it that way. Evan? That is a
After
post
12 o'clock
12 o'clock
thing.
thing. So if you look in the game manual, there is an expansion limit that they talk about. They say that they will tell you about it after noon. So yeah, great try, but
And hey, and good job reading the manual. Like,
as I told one of our kids the other day, I have amnesia when I'm talking to anybody about the game unless they have the NDA signed. Any other questions? All right, well, for now, we can't show the video until noon, so this went a little bit quicker than I thought it would. We'll be honest about that. So kind of feel free to talk amongst yourselves, to go use the bathrooms before noon. Come back this way at about 11:55, and we'll get ready for the game on these 2 monitors. And yeah, chat amongst yourselves.
Tyler, please come here. I don't know where you went.
All right, friends, we are about 13 minutes out. So about 13 minutes out here. Intentionally. Check, check. All right, friends, in about 5 minutes, we're going to play that game video. It will be on both of the TVs in this room. So the back TV, the big one, and then the one up front, the video will be on both. Now would be the time to go use the restroom. Alrighty, folks, we are 2 minutes out here, so now would probably be a time to start finding a seat where you can see those TVs. All right, folks, are we ready to watch this video? All right, here we go.
Hello teams, coaches, mentors, volunteers, parents, friends, and the entire First Tech Challenge community. I'm happy to be here for the First Tech Challenge 2025-2026 season kickoff and reveal of DECODE, presented by RTX, part of the First Age season presented by Qualcomm. All 10 of the 2025 Dean's List Award winners are here today, and we're honored to be your kickoff celebration hosts. We have a full show today, packed with messages from some familiar first faces, the DECODE season reveal, and a detailed field walkthrough to help teams get started, season planning, and gameplay strategy. All of the DECODE game materials will be published on our website after the live stream. Be sure to use the website as your reference during the season.
Hi First Tech Challenge. I'm thrilled to be here today to dig into our DECODE season and celebration. Before we reveal this season's game, we'd like to celebrate our 2025 First Championship and Premier Event winners. Congratulations on an exceptional season. This year, we're excited to continue our premier events, increase our event invitations, and expand our event locations. Here are the locations your team could earn the opportunity to advance to this season.
To officially welcome you to our kickoff today, we have First Chief Executive Officer, Chris Moore.
Hello, First Tech Challenge community. I'm Chris Moore, CEO of First. I am thrilled to help reveal DECODE, presented by RTX, part of the First Age season presented by Qualcomm. This season, you and more than 83,000 First Tech Challenge participants around the world will dig into an archaeology-inspired STEM adventure to unlock the mysteries of our past. Robots, game pieces, tools, team t-shirts, portfolios, pizza boxes, banners, all of these items will become artifacts that can help future archaeologists discover the first story. And along the way, you will demonstrate gracious professionalism and cooperation, allowing you to uncover new confidence and resilience, strengthening your STEM skills and your community in ways that will shape the legacy you leave behind. From all of us at First, we are excited to see what new findings you uncover. Thank you to mentors, coaches, parents, volunteers, and our many supporters for making First Tech Challenge and the DECODE season possible. Good luck, teams.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. A huge thank you to all our generous sponsors this year for making the DECODE game and First Age season possible. For 20 years, Qualcomm has been inspiring First students to make their mark and create groundbreaking innovations. Let's hear from Qualcomm's Vice President of Engineering, who made her mark on Mars.
Hello, First Tech Challenge teams. Welcome to DECODE, part of the First Age season presented by Qualcomm. I'm Anya Shivnan, Vice President of Engineering at Qualcomm Technologies Incorporated. And I was a member of the team that helped launch the Mars Ingenuity helicopter in 2021. 40 years ago, Qualcomm began revolutionizing wireless technology and connectivity. 20 years ago, we began our partnership with First, helping to inspire future visionaries. And today, we are driving the future of connected devices, artificial intelligence, and next-generation computing. Innovation and imagination are at the center of every milestone. And these are the same mindsets and STEM skills you're developing this season. As you uncover the future this season, be sure to make your mark. Good luck, teams.
Thank you, Anya, and thank you, Qualcomm. Now let's go behind the scenes with DECODE season presenting sponsor RTX to see how some of their innovations they're developing are just like the technologies that archaeologists are using to dig deeper than ever before.
Check it.
Welcome to the 2025 First Tech Challenge. This season, you will investigate the power of the world's artifacts and unlock mysteries in DECODE, presented by RTX. I'm a first mentor and lead test engineer at RTX, where I support both ground and flight testing to help develop the next generation of jet engines. Today, I want to show you a couple of the cool technologies we work on.
Check it.
Here in Portsmouth, Rhode Island, RTX's underwater acoustics capability is similar to the technology archaeologists use to locate, image, and map ancient sites and artifacts. Synthetic aperture sonar uses an artificial array of transducers to scan the seafloor, collecting data to form an ultra-high resolution picture. These images reveal the shape and size of objects, like shipwrecks, in much more detail than traditional sonars. And from the sky, archaeologists use remote sensing techniques to research past societies and cultures. RTX unlocked the next generation of remote sensing by using digital engineering to produce sensors that are smaller, lighter, and more capable for a variety of Earth observation missions. Traveling on satellites, these imaging instruments provide maximum resolution imagery from space. Working with NASA, RTX is designing a new remote sensing instrument to identify land patterns like crop production, mineral mapping, and forest management. At RTX, we've been at the forefront of innovation for more than a century. We developed aero-defining airplane engines in the early 1900s, invented the microwave oven, and even created the computer that guided the Apollo astronauts to the moon. Right now, RTX engineers work in 30 countries, focused on things like advanced avionics, directed energy, electric propulsion, hypersonics, and quantum physics. Hundreds of mentors like me and FIRST alumni worldwide are ready to connect with you and decode the world of robotics. Working together, we can solve some of the world's greatest challenges and answer its biggest questions. We've made our mark in history. Now it's your turn. Good luck, teams.
Thank you, Amanda, and thank you to the hundreds of RTX mentors and volunteers who support the FIRST community around the world.
We want to take a moment to remind our community that gracious professionalism is an important part of what makes FIRST, FIRST, and that it's also at the heart of each team practice and get-together, and each and every FIRST Tech Challenge event. This year, Rachel Moore and Colin Foltz are sharing a message about gracious professionalism.
Thanks, Olivia. I'm Rachel and this is Colin. We're both FIRST alumni and together we lead FIRST Tech Challenge. We know everyone is excited to see this year's game reveal, but before we get to that, we'd like to talk about something that's important and part of the ethos of FIRST programs, gracious professionalism.
If you've never heard the term before, gracious professionalism is kind of like good sportsmanship. But instead of only describing how to behave when you compete, it can apply to all aspects of your life. Gracious professionalism is a way of doing things that encourages high-quality work, emphasizes the value of others, and shows respect for individuals and the community.
FIRST is a small cross-section of the real-life opportunities that each of you will have to make decisions which reflect gracious professionalism. Practicing gracious professionalism doesn't have to be large, sweeping gestures. Instead, it's the little choices that each of us makes when no one is watching that all combine and fuse together to form our collective culture. You already know how to compete hard, and you know how to be kind. Think about how your actions make others feel and how that makes you feel.
Your team probably plans strategy before the season and before each match. You can do the same exercise for how you will handle challenging interpersonal situations that might come up throughout the season. You won't always get it right, and that's okay, because gracious professionalism is a journey, not a destination. It's something we should strive to practice every day. When we make a mistake, we should own it, offer a sincere apology, and attempt to make amends. Then, find ways to do better in the future.
FIRST can be challenging. It's supposed to be. And that means that at times during this season, you may feel pressure and experience stress. In those difficult times, it might seem easier to be selfish or only take your own interests into account. After all, even if you do everything the right way, there's only a handful of teams that will win their last match of the season and be celebrated as world champions. But while there's a limited number of championship trophies, there's no such limit on the number of teams who will have a successful season. Don't waste your time on being envious of others' success. Ask questions, challenge yourself, learn from others, and share your own knowledge.
FIRST programs would not be possible without the time committed by tens of thousands of caring adult volunteers, including team coaches and mentors. As FIRST alumni, we know the impact that mentors and coaches can have on a young person's life. Mentors and coaches are key to establishing and maintaining a team culture. On behalf of more than 100,000 FIRST Tech Challenge students, thank you for all that you do. Aristotle once said, "Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all." This season, we hope you have the opportunity to educate both. Good luck.
What an important message from Rachel and Colin. Teams, take a moment as you start your season to think about how you will display gracious professionalism in your community.
We can't wait to show you all the most important part of our DECODE kickoff, the reveal. After the reveal, make sure to stick around for the field walkthrough and a great video about starter robots, designed to help your team start playing and learning about DECODE quickly.
And now, the exhilarating reveal of the 2025-2026 FIRST Tech Challenge game, DECODE, presented by RTX.
Welcome to the FIRST Tech Challenge 2025-2026 season game, DECODE, presented by RTX. DECODE is played by 4 randomly selected teams, 2 per alliance. Your opponent for one match may be your partner for another. Robots must be built to meet the specifications in the competition manual and fit within an 18-inch sizing cube. Robots and their extensions must remain within the 18-inch sizing cube until the endgame. The game is played on a 12-foot square playing field with a foam tile floor and 1-foot-high walls. On the playing field is a red alliance goal and a blue alliance goal. At the exit of each goal is the classifier ramp and a gate. April tags are located on the goal to assist with targeting. On the field, there are 24 purple artifacts and 12 green artifacts. Robots start each match in one of 2 locations and can hold up to 3 artifacts. At the start of each match, a motif made up of 3 artifacts is randomly selected and indicated on the obelisk. During the first 30 seconds of the match, robots are autonomous. Robots can use sensors to decode the motif, leave the starting line, and score artifacts in the goal. Artifacts that enter the goal and exit to the classifier ramp earn points. Once the classifier is full, any additional overflow will score, but will earn fewer points. At the end of auto, alliances earn additional points if the artifacts in the classifier match the motif pattern. During the following 2 minutes of the match, drivers control their robots. Robots continue to score in their goal, open the gate to clear the classifier, and collect artifacts from their human player. Alliances that score enough artifacts in their goal throughout the match will earn an additional ranking point. The last 20 seconds of the teleop period is the endgame. Robots continue to score to fill their classifier to form the motif pattern. As time runs out, robots race to their base where they can expand in height. Points are awarded to robots partially in their base, and even more points are awarded to robots fully in their base. If both robots fit within their base, the alliance receives bonus points. An alliance that can earn enough points from moving in auto and returning to their base will receive an additional ranking point. The alliance that earns the most points overall wins the match and will earn 3 ranking points. This has been a summary of this season's game, DECODE, presented by RTX. For complete rules, please read the competition manual, and always remember to demonstrate the first ethos of gracious professionalism. Good luck, teams, and have a great season.
Wow, what an exciting game we have ahead of us. Here to give us a closer look at the field is Erin Fadden.
Hey teams, I'm Erin Fadden, part of the FIRST Tech Challenge Game Design Committee. In this walkthrough, we'll take a closer look at the field for this year's game challenge, DECODE, presented by RTX. The scoring elements for this year's game are called artifacts. Artifacts are 5-inch plastic spheres. Both the green artifacts and the purple artifacts can be scored by either alliance to earn points. At the start of the match, some of the artifacts are staged on the floor in specific locations. This allows teams to collect them, especially during the auto period, in order to create the motif pattern. Directly behind the perimeter wall is the obelisk. The obelisk is a 3-sided structure with an April tag on each of the 3 faces. Before the match begins, one of the 3 motifs are randomly chosen and the obelisk is rotated to show which motif has been selected. Teams can use vision to read the April tag and determine which pattern will earn additional points during the match. The obelisk will be placed in the same spot after each rotation, but since it is moved every match, it is not intended to be used for precise navigation. On the field is a red goal and a blue goal. Each goal is located in the corner of the field and they are mirror images of each other. The goals are made out of an aluminum metal structure and thick corrugated plastic panels. The front lip of the goal is 38.75 inches off the floor. On the floor at the front face of the goal is a tape line. Teams can push artifacts into the tape line for additional points, but be aware, artifacts may roll away if left unattended. The goals and ramps are attached to the perimeter walls and designed to stay in place when robots run into them, but may move a little during gameplay. Each goal has a unique April tag for teams to use for targeting. As robots launch artifacts into the goal, the artifact will exit and roll down the ramp. Most of the time, the artifacts that enter the goal first will exit the goal first, but robots that can launch quickly might need to slow down between shots to ensure the artifacts stay in order. Once an artifact exits the goal, it will roll down the classifier ramp. At the end of each ramp is a gate. The gate will be in a closed position until a robot pushes it open. A closed gate will stop the flow of artifacts and allow them to collect on the ramp. Once the ramp is full, any additional artifacts scored will overflow and roll towards the exit. Robots can open the gate by pushing down or driving into the extended lever. Once the gate is open, the artifacts on the ramp will be released and drop onto the tile floor. This season, human players are allowed to retrieve artifacts from the loading zone and place them into their robots. But remember, teams are not allowed to touch their robots during the match and should be careful to keep their hands away from the robots while retrieving and entering artifacts onto the field. The center of the field is wide open with no protective zones. Red Alliance robots and Blue Alliance robots will be collecting artifacts, driving, and attempting to score, all in the same space. Teams should build robust robots and be prepared for robot-to-robot interactions to take place in the center of the field as robots collect artifacts, take their shots, and play defense. During the endgame, robots can earn points by ending the match in their base zone. This is the only time during the match where teams are allowed to expand larger than the 18-inch cube. The base zone is an 18-inch tape square located near each Alliance loading zone. So, precise driving will be required, and robots built to the maximum size dimensions may have a challenging time fitting into the square. Teams will need to work together with their Alliance partners to maximize points. I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough of DECODE. Please make sure to read this year's First Tech Challenge competition manual. The competition manual has all of the game and robot construction rules, as well as everything you need to know about tournaments, awards, and more. Throughout the season, we'll be publishing team updates, where the competition manual will be updated on a weekly basis. Also, every team will have access to one account to ask questions and receive answers on the First Tech Challenge Q&A forum. Thank you for watching, and we hope you have a great season.
Thanks so much, Erin. The field looks full of creative and fun new challenges. Next up, we have Danny Diaz to share some important information about starter bots for our upcoming season.
Hi teams, I'm Danny Diaz, First Tech Challenge Senior Engineering Manager. I'm thrilled to share with you some of the new and exciting team resources for this year's game, DECODE, presented by RTX. This season, we've worked with Andy Mark, Go Build Up, Rev, and Studica to create starter bots. These robots are made from parts in each vendor's starter kits. They are intended to be a starting point, not an ending point. We encourage all teams to utilize these build resources as they begin to explore DECODE. Teams can build one of these designs and then choose to change and improve their robots throughout the season for competition. Each starter bot design has similar capabilities to play a portion of the DECODE game. These robots can drive around the field, score artifacts into the goal, and collect additional artifacts from a human player. Resources for all of the starter bots can be found on the First Tech Challenge webpage. Robot code for starter bots is available in Java and blocks. The robots even have a basic autonomous mode to launch preloaded artifacts and move. Building a starter bot is a great way for a team to get started and for driving practice during the season. We've also worked with First Canada and the folks at the FTC Sim for the DECODE season. FTC Sim is a virtual coding tool that allows users to code and run a virtual First Tech Challenge robot autonomously. Users can learn everything from basic movement to how to use sensors by completing a series of puzzles using blocks or Java. The DECODE field will be available right after kickoff in the simulator, so you can dig in right away and get familiar with the field virtually. Team members can learn to code, explore the field, and test out new ideas before building their own robot or field. A special thank you to First Strategic Partner, the Argosy Foundation, for helping make FTC Sim possible. Additional control system documentation, helpful tech tips, and more can be found on the FTC Docs page. We hope you'll check out and utilize all the resources we have to offer on the First Tech Challenge website. Thank you for watching, and we hope you have a great season.
That looks like there's some great starter bot options for our teams this year. Make sure to check out more information on our website. We can't wait to see your creative solutions and robots in action on the field.
Everyone's invited to explore DECODE. If you haven't registered yet, there's still time to join in on the action. Visit our website for details and steps to get started. Already on a team? Check out our free social graphics, recruitment posters, logos, and more. And be sure to tag First Tech Challenge on your team's social posts. Thanks for joining us to kick off this season and for being part of the First community.
Good luck, teams.
All right, you guys, we're gonna keep you. What?
All right, so
We're gonna give us 5 minutes of some key stuff to share with you, and then I promise you can get to the field.
So we have a slide deck that First wants us to go to, and Ethan's got to do something real quick to get us ready for that. But until then, there's a big rule that really wasn't talked about in this video, and that is expansion limit. That's what Nevin asked earlier. Did anyone catch what the expansion limit is other than RoboVines? Because I know it's in your chat. One of you Burr Hills kids. Nevin, you asked the question,
did
actually.
you ask?
Zero.
You got it.
So, expansion limit is 18 by 18 cube, just like your starting limit. The last 20 seconds, you can expand upwards to 36 inches, and that's it. So you are not expanding during this game. Last 20 seconds, yeah. Yeah, it's not a 30-second end game. It's the 20-second last 20.
So I'm going to talk about the one that's big for me as a ref, and is scary. You are allowed to place balls in the robot now, as long as you don't touch the robot. So that whole keep your hand on the right side of the wall when the bot is in the load zone doesn't exist anymore. Is that only when you're putting in? What about when you're putting up?
What do you mean?
Robot push balls in.
Right.
You got to pick them up.
Right.
As long as you are not touch. The only caveat we have is you cannot touch the robot.
You cannot touch the robot directly, and if you are holding one of those elements in your hand, the element cannot touch the robot. So you can't touch it transitively.
So yeah,
but
if
there
they
is
push it in, they're gonna back up.
limitation of the robot being in that box while you reach in.
Which, yeah, stinks.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. Nevin, real quick, and then we'll get through the slides. No, human player cannot throw it. But what they didn't mention in this video on human players is that you can have more than one this year.
Yeah, if you look at that, if you looked at that game, when you look at it again, every team has four people out there. So every team is allowed to have their own human player.
And there are actually ways that a team can even field 2 players on their team.
That's a whole thing in itself.
It gets crazy, but the game manual has a lot of stuff. So Ethan, we got that slide deck ready. So we're gonna quickly go through these slides. I'll answer your question after this set.
Back up.
How'd you get the team? Okay, so core values. If your team hasn't talked already about your goals for the season, this is a great time this week to do some of that talking. The first core values are a big thing that we like to harp on. They're really what makes first. So we have that discovery, innovation, impact, inclusion, teamwork, and fun. Know those values, live by those values.
You guys who have come from FLL, you know that they're very big in FLL. So to bring them to FTC a little bit more, not that we don't, but to actually talk about them.
Oh, cool. These are all out of order.
All right, well, team calls. There are places for you guys to get on and actually work with the community. We do that a ton with the coaches, but this is a place where you guys can go as actual team members and get some questions answered and just kind of build a community. So those aren't bad calls to keep in mind.
Team avatars. So these are stuff that you can put into the scoring system. They're little team things. They'll show up in the scoring system if you do them. So coach 1 and 2 can put them up there. It looks like if you had one last year, they will come over. If not, you can upload a new one.
Oh, wait.
This is all out of order. It's fine.
Okay.
Next. This is the points-based advancement that we talked about. So the advancement is very different this year with the points-based model. Obviously, there's some information up there. There's the blog up there, and it's all in the game manual.
Yeah, and it will be done itself. There is, in the game manual, there's a really fun equation as to how they get there. One nobody's ever going to use. Okay, so first championship is going to 6 divisions from 4. So by doing that, that is allowing them to add an extra 80 teams compared to what they had last year. And the list of premier events is growing, and almost looks like it was growing even since this slide was made. I feel like there was, but yeah, so there's more opportunities to move forward. On that note, Excelsior Region gets their numbers as of December 1st.
As of November 17th, actually.
Well, so everyone has, if you have not registered, please, please, please try to register by November 17th, because that is what FIRST is going to use to decide how many alignment, or, slots we have for Worlds, and then right down to the rest of our stuff. So I'm probably preaching to the choir in this room, but just so you guys know, the people that wait and don't register until like January, right before a competition, they don't get to count in our numbers. So
For Worlds. For World slots, that is.
For World slots, yes. So we want earlier is better, so that way we know. Also works a lot easier for us who are trying to plan events to actually know how many teams we're trying to plan for. Next.
This is the whole advancement process. It will be announced later on how exactly they're going to do it, but it's going to probably be along those same advancement points set up, like what we've done in the past.
Awards. So awards this year, we're for interviews, guaranteed 5-minute time to do your actual structured interview. The cool thing that I found when I was reading through it, and you guys should read through obviously as well, the one thing that they are doing for judging this year is at the beginning of the day, the judge advisor is going to pick one question from the mechanical side and one question from the outreach side, so to speak. And oh, okay. Well, but then every team gets asked those questions. So, I feel like now I don't know.
That was a rule last year, though. Now they've actually dedicated it as a rule.
So, yeah, so that means that everybody in the place will be asked at least the first 2 questions.
The other really important thing on that slide that is different from the game manual you read before is how Inspire is working this year. So in the past, if you won Inspire anywhere, you were eliminated at that level. This year, if you win Inspire at one of the qualifiers, you are still eligible for Inspire 2 and 3 at all of your other events that you go to at the qualifier level.
Because of the point system. Because what we were, I mean, it didn't come out that way first, and they figured out that,
So it's a big
that
change
was
for
really
this
going to
year.
be a problem. So,
Dean's List deadline, we talked about that. Nominations open September 6th. They are
Today.
due today. They are due on the 15th, and then we'll do that judging the first full week of January. Next. High-level narrative, we kind of got this in the video, so we won't go into this too much. There are, I think they talked a little bit about it, there are ranking points involved in it this year that you can get additionally by doing certain tasks in the mission. So those are a big difference than last year. Your actual max ranking points you could leave a match with is 6. You get 3 for a win, and you can earn 3 by doing certain things. Field layout, so we'll talk about that. It's going to be really fun to try to remember to call these wiffle balls artifacts this year, but we'll get there. This is how those ranking points work. So there's 3 main ones. There's a movement, a goal, and a pattern. They are changing the tiers that you have to hit based on the level of event you're at. So, for example, that movement is 16 at qualifiers, but at championships is going to be 21 points. So it changes how much you have to do in order to earn those points. The goal RP for the 36, that is 36 of those wiffle balls into the goal. That is not 36 points, that is actually 36 of those going into the goal. So that's going to be a lot of work to get those ones. Next. These are those movement points, so the leave and base. So like I was saying, 16 at a qualifier, and then it's going to be 21 at the champ level. So that's 3 points for leaving the line, 10 points for being parked in. You'll notice that it's going to be kind of hard to get those at championship because you need those 21 points. So you're going to really have to kind of figure out how that's all going to work. Ethan? These are those goals, like I was saying, with those artifacts. So it's 36 artifacts into the goal. So they can be classified or overflow, but they do have to go through the goal. So that's going to mean a lot of shooting when you can only shoot them 3 at a time. 13 cycles of 3 for whoever's counting there. It's on the referees.
It is on the referees,
Because
yeah.
it's also live scoring. Because you're getting a point for every one of those that goes into the thing, and then you can dump them and start over again. So that's
and
gonna
no
be a
one
big
may
change.
leave me. I see these faces. No one may leave me. If you've refed, you will continue to ref.
My first statement when I...
And if you want to ref more, can come along, but no one may leave me.
I'm very happy to be an FTA. And then this is those pattern ranking points. So the patterns are scored at the end of teleop and at the end of autonomous. If you get a point for each one of these that is in the right place. So that's going to be your third way of getting ranking points. Ethan? This is those drive team changes we were talking about a little bit. So there is up to 8 people in the driver box at a time. What you will notice is that the bottom 2 options, the driver and human player, it just says 3 for those 2 positions. So if you're driving your robot with a single controller, you can actually have 2 people functioning as human player in that box. Why you would want to? I don't know. There's not going to be enough space, but you could do it. You could have all 3.
The other thing to keep in mind is that drive coach, and it may have always been this way as well, but they're making more of a restriction on that. The drive coach cannot touch artifacts, and so we are
Or the controllers.
So we are probably going to have to go back to buttons or something to designate who's what, which we've stopped in our region for a while just because we didn't really particularly care, but could do whatever.
Right.
Exactly.
Right, as
So,
long as they were
and that's going to, the drive coach not touching the artifact is going to be important because artifacts that get shot out of the field is going to be able to be introduced back to your drive team. So, but you're going to have to make sure it's your drive team, not your drive coach. That's how that's going to work? Yeah. Yes, when it gets yeeted.
Field staff will bring them to the nearest drive team is how it's working. Drive team. Right.
Or the human player.
Or the human player. So it's got to be one of those three.
Field staff is going to bring it back.
It could be refs if they happen to be, at it and catch it. It could be FTAs. We've been talking about potentially assigning that some of our reset crew will do that kind of thing. But it will be field staff will return it to the closest driving team at the
earliest safest, convenient time. And the other thing that we've talked about is that there's going to be safety glasses are going to be a much bigger requirement of anybody who's on the field or anywhere within that, our scorekeeper and the people that are behind the table, because all you need is for an encoder to become unplugged, and who knows what happens to the robot.
Next up. Human players, that human player thing again. It has to be in the loading zone. You cannot touch it. You cannot touch the robot. And if you're holding an element, that element cannot touch the robot, but you can drop it into the robot. So that's going to be a big change from this year. Just be careful. Safety is kind of terrifying me this year. There's going to be some scariness. Next. Construction rules, there are some new legal motors. There are some, like I was talking about, the servo power blocks and that kind of stuff. We are down to 10 servos. You must remain within inside 18. And those are really the big ones. The big ones is going to be that you have to stay inside 18. I was flabbergasted when I saw that rule change. That is absolutely every single part of your robot must be inside of 18.
Yep. So I'm envisioning that how it will look for inspection is make it to your biggest level, and you better be able to put a box over it.
Right. So you will notice, right, that the Red Alliance driver box is across from the Red Alliance side of the field. So that's going to be a little bit of a learning adjustment for all of us. But it does make it a little bit nicer for shooting. So it's going to be nice, but it's going to be a learning adjustment. Let's just talk more about autos, just kind of how those points work. We've covered that already a bit. Key season dates. So these are key season dates for us too. The big ones to notice there, the Q&A form opens on the 22nd, so that's going to be a big deal. November 17th is when we want you guys registered by, if at all possible, so that we can have those counted towards our world slots. March 30th, for anyone who does make it to championship, that will be the last day to pay for registration and housing. And then, championships is May 29th, or April 29th to May 2nd.
And I don't know that the actual regional date that's not set.
It's wrong. It's
wrong.
not 7th, 8th, 14th, 15th. It's actually the 28th, 1st, 7th, 8th. So I didn't double check that before I put it in there.
I didn't realize it was specific to us.
I updated it.
Oh, yeah, you're wrong.
Yep, I did it wrong. So this is kind of talking about the interactiveness. There is some defense. They are really harping that defense is okay. Whether or not we'll see a ton of it, but we're also not playing Rock'em Sock'em Robots, so don't bang into each other too much. There are protected zones. So there are a couple of spaces that are protected. There's a secret tunnel zone, and there is the releaser thing. So there are two spaces.
The gate zone.
The gate is protected. So there are going to be some keep out spots you guys need to pay attention to. This is the goal in the gate overflow, so they will potentially come over the top. Really, it's just that they can fill up and go over the top. There's an online score calculator. Next. This is one of the big things that I want to make sure we talked about. There are these quick links for the season. So ftc.game is a place to go to get all of the game information. It will take you right to the game and season information. It is a super convenient place. Obviously, there are these other add-ons to it, so you can do the manual, the CM, that kind of stuff, but FTC.game is huge. The other place is FTC-events. That is going to get you all of the results and stuff for matches and competitions, so that's another cool place to go. Ethan? So this talks a little bit about the game manual. Anything in big letters is defined in the index.
Team updates are coming out every Thursday.
Team updates, there's actually should be one available online now. Ethan? This is the manual sections. So if you're looking for those updates and the manuals, go to ftc.game, and that'll get you to where those manuals and updates are. So it's just kind of how the manual breaks down. Just kind of keep in mind that the manual is in sections. So the rule that you're reading, it kind of is important which section it's in as to what it's talking about. E? There is an AI rule assistant, FTC-CM chatbot.firstinspires.org. That is going to be an AI assistant. You can go there, ask it questions. It will give you answers. Don't always trust AI. Sometimes it lies. E? This is about the Q&A. We're going to get to it. So ftc.game/tu-combine will get you the updates. And then there's the whole Q&A form. E? Team Update 0 is live, so ftc.game/tu-00 is live. It includes the major changes for this season, things like that expansion limit, and also a couple of whatever updates updated from V0 to V1. Yep. That's it. So, let's pull the curtain and go look at this field. Before you go in there, please keep your shoes off the field. These are real competition tiles that are in there. So please do not have shoes on the field. If you need a tape measure or something, ask a RoboVine and they will get you a tape measure and paper and pencils, whatever you need.
Thank you.
Right.
Is, oh, sorry. What are the what? It's where you have to be within them to shoot.
Back one over there. I could do full court shots.
Yeah, you could do full court shots.
What's the secret tunnel?
What? Secret tunnel? That's fine, right here and right there.
Isn't that the loading zone?
No, the loading zone is here.
We're doing full court shots.
Okay, that's the secret tunnel. I don't know. This is your base. This is your base. These are your loading zones. So the robot has to put this to load. This is the protected zone on both sides for where the gate is. That's how they go. Those dots, those steps are where there will a step.
Thank you all for joining us on the stream. We are going to take the stream down as of now. I'll leave it up for another 30 seconds or so. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. But other than that, we are going to be done for today. Thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, if it's a ball like this, right. Right, so. Yep.
little in the video. See the motion.